Hi, it's time for Street Talk, your voice and your views on the issues in the news. France and America seem to have opened a new chapter in relations. Things had soured between the two during the presidency of Jacques Chirac, who opposed the US invasion of Iraq. The new French president, Nicolas Sarkozy, met with President Bush to discuss issues, including Iraq, Iran's nuclear ambitions, and global warming. In a speech to a joint session of the US Congress, Mr. Sarkozy said differences over Iraq should not weaken the alliance between the two countries, and that he had come to reconquer the heart of America in a lasting fashion. Writing in from Texas, President Bush's home state, Robert says he's encouraged by the French president's comments. Sarkozy's speech was one of the most promising positions that has come out of that country in a long time. After constant criticism and badgering by the French, it is wonderful to hear a friendly voice again. Maureen in Ireland isn't as optimistic as Robert and writes, America will have a special relationship with anyone who it can manipulate to its own ends. One has to look at the underlying reason for this new friendship. Something fishy is going on here. Julie in California doesn't understand what all the excitement's about. This may be seen as a great gesture from France, but at the end of the day, each country will continue to act on the basis of its own national interests. And Armand in France feels let down by his president. I voted for Sarkozy, but now I'm beginning to question that decision. I'm really disappointed in him because, as a Frenchman, I don't want to be associated with the Bush administration, and neither should our leader. Now, we always welcome your thoughts here on the show, and a lot of you send me suggestions on how to make the program better. We always love to hear your comments. Dan in the United Kingdom sent us the following request. I find it highly irritating when questions are put to guests and instead of answering the questions, they ramble on about other things and totally bypass the question. I understand that it must be difficult for Riz to ask them to answer, but he does not even as much try. I totally don't mean this in any way to be rude, but could you please repeat the question when it's not answered? Well, Dan, it's an important point you make, and I hope I don't let it happen too often. Sometimes people call in with questions on issues that have already been covered, in which case I do have to move on. Well, either way, do please keep sending those questions in. Now, being eco-friendly isn't usually seen as sexy, but one lingerie maker in Japan has come up with a new way to save the planet and enhance your cleavage. Lingerie maker Triumph International Japan unveiled the My Chopsticks bra this week in a bid to promote the use of reusable chopsticks instead of disposable ones. The brassiere, which comes with a pair of collapsible chopsticks, is not for sale. Rather, it's to raise awareness about recycling. Japanese throw out more than 25 billion wooden chopsticks a year. Well, staying with our Eastern theme, it's interesting to note the Japanese are not only fashionable and environmentally friendly, but can even make exercising look fun. Take a look at this clip from the Japanese TV show Haneru no Tobira.
おもちゃみたいになってる。
Someone has to think these things up, remember that. That's it until next time. Do keep sending in your questions and comments and pointers to anything interesting or amusing for Street Talk. Remember, what you see here isn't necessarily the view of Al Jazeera, and some of the content's been edited, but for time and space reasons only. And that's the talk on the street.